everybody. Welcome to Bestie Book Reviews. I'm here with the bestie Mandy.
And I'm here with bestie Jessica.
I'm your bestie Jessica.
I know, but I really want to start calling you bestie Jessica like all the time. Even when we're out and about, I'll be like bestie Jessica.
Just totally throws me. I have to remember that that's what you're trying to do. Because, wow, throws me off. All right. Well, it's time for those 1-minute book recs. This is where we go over all the books we read in the past week with a 1-minute synopsis for each book. But before we get started with that, what do you want to do, Mandy? What do you want to talk to them about?
Well, we would really we have some goals for our channel. So we would really love if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, if you'd subscribe. If you have, thank you so much. We greatly appreciate that. And we would love for you to also like and comment. We love hearing from you guys about what you're reading, what your thoughts are on things, all the things.
Yeah. All right. Well, how was your reading week?
I actually got a lot of reading in, and my reading week was pretty gosh darn good. But these 2 weeks have been a fluke, and now my life is going to be extremely busy, and I'll probably read like 2 books a week.
That's okay.
FYI.
That's okay. It's all good. Because, yeah. Somebody had to be reading this week.
I have 14 books I'm going to talk about. I read 13, but one is from a week and a half ago. That was a convincing, and I never put it in my notes, so I need to get it in there so it's in the book.
Okay. Well, one of us read this week. So I read 5 books because
that's still a lot.
I was busy. I was busy getting all of your Beth Flynn books into boxes and out the door. So
at the warehouse to come today.
Yeah, mine they're behind me with the glare. That thing on January's books, the dust jacket, it creates a glare, but that's okay. It's all good. Yeah. All right, well, you're starting.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Lucky me.
Lucky you.
Okay.
Okay.
So first up, I have an ALC. It was You'll Be Mine by Piper Rain. This just came out. It's narrated by Christine Lakin, and Sean Masters. This is about Ashley and Carter. Ashley lives in this town. Oh my gosh, that sounds so stupid. What is wrong with me? Ashley runs an inn, and her sister is a celebrity. She's flying home to get married. They are twins. And her sister and her fiance are stuck in California, and she has asked Ashley and then Carter, who's the best man, to take care of a lot of last minute wedding plans for them. Well, Carter is obviously, because he's the best man, he's best friends with the groom. And so if you think this through just a little bit, they're twins, okay? So they are in town, or he's in town. They have to try and pull this wedding off while the bride and groom are not in town. And so the two of them are forced together quite a bit for this task. There's my timer. I botched this. I feel like I should just start over, but I'm not going to. And they don't like each other. But Carter doesn't really know why Ashley doesn't like him, and Ashley doesn't really understand why Carter and her were once about to hook up, and he basically ended it and ran out. Okay, so they're forced to get this wedding together at Christmas time. That seems to be a theme with a lot of the new releases for holiday books this year, are all centered around weddings. Is that normally what happens, or I don't know?
You're asking the wrong girl, because I avoid holiday books like the plague. I mean, I'll read a couple, but they're not my thing. It's too much Christmas cheer.
Yeah.
And I love Christmas. They're just too much for me.
Yes.
Yeah. So, okay. And what'd you rate it?
4 stars.
Okay. Well, since I was packing in the warehouse, and like I've mentioned before, I can't focus because I get interrupted a lot when I was doing that. So I read Nice Planet Barbarian, and we're going to talk about it, even though it's been a reread and it's okay. So this is Steph's Outcast. This is in the Ice Planet spinoff, so the Ice Home spinoff. I don't know. It's like book 3,900. I can't even tell you what number it is. But this is about Steph and Juth. So Juth is he's a part of the Outcast clan. So in the spinoff, there is a tropical island that ends up blowing up because it's a caldera and the volcano is active. And Juth comes from there. And so he's got a little boy that he is the father of that he adopted, who's like 3 or 4. He's very small. And he has some traits that are a bit different than the other aliens on the planet, which is why he's a part of Outcast Clan. And Outcast Clan is not to have anything to do with everybody else. Like they're not supposed to be a part of the clans. And so he meets Steph. She is our resident psychologist. That's what she went to college for. And she just wants to help everybody, and she's trying to help integrate them into the group, trying to get them into their little clan they have on the beach, when these weird little mollusk things that are like the size of city blocks show up and invade the beach, and then he has to rescue her and keep her safe, and it's like a whole thing. I love it just because I love the whole like miscommunication, and he's the outcast, so he's the one that nobody wanted, and he's got the little boy, he's a single dad. Like I still love it. It's one of my favorites. I really think, like, as much as I love the original Ice Planet Barbarians, the spinoff of Ice Home, those really are my favorites. So, just gotta say. Okay. I do have a confession, though, about Ice Planet Barbarians.
Okay.
You ready for it?
Oh,
There's one book I haven't read. There's one book I skipped in the originals, and I need to go back and read it.
Okay. Wow.
And I always say I've read them all, but I haven't. I skipped one because it was an alien one. They were both aliens, and I didn't care.
This is shocking and horrifying news.
I know. I'm going to listen to it this week. I finally decided to bite the bullet and do it so that I can actually say I've read all of them.
Okay, bestie Jessica.
I feel very, very guilty about that, bestie Mandy.
You probably should.
I should.
You've been misleading a lot of people for a long time.
Yeah, I think I read like the first few chapters and I was like, yeah, no, I'm not into this. But that was years ago. I'll go back.
Okay. This next one, I don't know that we need to switch over for. I just wanted to make sure that I got this in here. That's Grimm by DJ Krimmer and Joe Arden. I read this as part of Convincing. So if you've watched that, you've already heard my reaction to this. And I know Jessica's talked about this one a couple of times. Mm-hmm. I'll just reiterate that I loved it. I listened to it. It was really good. It was a solid 5-star read and probably a favorite audiobook. Like it's definitely in my favorites for audiobooks.
Audiobook.
Really fast synopsis. Rue knows her life is going to be short. She's got an I don't know if we'd call it an illness, like a
heart condition.
A heart condition. Yeah, I guess that's what we'll call it. I was trying to think of like if it's a heart disease, but I don't think it was really a disease or an illness. It's just a condition that she's just not going to have a long life. And she's aware of this. And it's her time. The Reaper, Cain, comes to get her. And he experiences things with her that he's not been able to experience before, which leads him to giving her a 9-day extension.
Pretty much.
And then he oversees that 9-day extension. So I just needed to make sure I got that in there.
Okay. Well, why don't you go ahead and talk about your next one? Because, you know, that was real quick and easy, and you've got 3,000 books to my 5.
Okay, so my next one, I'm going to actually skip my reading order just a little bit because I don't want people to tune out when they get to the end and are like, oh, this is getting too long with all of the books that Mandy read this week. So I really want everyone to go get this book on November 21st, okay? So even if you're not ready to read it, go download it because if you have Kindle Unlimited, it'll be on Kindle Unlimited, so you can just download it, or if you want to purchase it, you can. But it really helps authors when their books are downloaded the day that they go live. So I want everyone to go grab this, even if you're not ready to read it, because it is really great. And that is Shadows of You by Karen Crumpton. It will be the last book in the Cold Neptune series, which follows the 4 rock stars. I will say it is a much better reading experience to start with Lyrics of Her and go through the whole 4 books. If you want to read it as a standalone, you definitely could. You just maybe not won't understand the guys' dynamics as well. But I don't think there's anything earth-shattering that you're missing that isn't filled in for you. But it's a phenomenal series, so just read the whole thing. So in this, we have Jackson and Nora. In the last book, Jackson shows up for their European world tour with this woman, Nora, who's dressed kind of crazy. And he's like, hey guys, this is my wife. And then she ends the book, which was super great for her to do that to us and leave us on this cliffhanger. So now we actually pick up prior to that to find out how this came about. So basically, Jackson has gotten himself into some trouble. He slept with a Hollywood bigwig's wife and was photographed leaving their house. And so now the record label has a new person in charge, and she is not happy about his behavior and the image he's bringing to the record label. So they are demanding that he do something about this. So it starts with Nick basically telling him, like, these are your 3 options. Pick one of these women, and she is going to be under contract to be your fake girlfriend, and you are not to do any more screwing around. Like, you're going on tour with this girl. Well, Jackson's kind of his own guy and is not really interested in that when this woman shows up wearing this crazy getup and sits down next to him at the bar. And he is like, I'll do it, but it's going to be her. And Nora's kind of in a situation where she could definitely use the money and she's about to get fired from her job. So she's like, okay. And that starts the story. Now, I know that the fake dating trope, some people don't really care for that. I will just say when Karen writes these tropes, you're reading it and you're not like, oh, this is a fake dating, but remember, he does say they're married, or a fake marriage situation. It does not feel like that at all. Like, if I didn't think about it, I wouldn't probably be able to be like, these are the tropes. The book is just phenomenal. There's some funny moments in it, there's some serious moments in it. I loved it so incredibly much. I'm sad the series is over, although she did like tease a little tiny bit in the acknowledgments that, hey, maybe Nick needs a book.
Okay.
So I absolutely loved it. It is 5 stars. It will be a top read of the year for me. If you've not checked out the series, go do it. If you've read the series, make sure you grab this one as well on November 21st. It is worth the read. I devoured it.
I know. I can't wait to read it this week. It like killed me that I couldn't read it this week because I was so busy.
And for our viewers, if you watch our show, there is an Easter egg in there. You might not pick up on the Easter egg for me unless you've really paid attention on our show. But if you've watched our channel for a while, you might be able to pick up on the Easter egg that was put in just for our bestie, Jessica.
Yeah. I love it.
So go grab it and read it.
Yeah.
And let us know if you find that Easter egg.
Also, Karen, it's accurate. So, yeah. Love it. It was awesome. Okay.
Thanks for letting me. That was way longer than a minute, but that book
but I think
more
Karen
than a minute.
deserves it. I even love all of these books, and yeah, I can't wait to read it. Hopefully this week I'll get the time to sit and read a little bit. Fingers crossed.
You definitely want to make sure you have the time because it's hard to stop. Like, there's no like, oh, I could take a break here.
Yeah, and we do have another shipment this week, so it's going to be a little crazy, but I'm trying to get it in this week. So as I'm walking around blindly reading and walking into things because I can't put it down. So
you're also Marilyn Monroeing over there again.
I was hot earlier. I'm not hot now, but like the way we record, I have my table in front of me and then the stand is in front of me. And so to get out of my chair that has armrests, like I would have to move everything to do it. And I really wish Jeff would come in here so I can be like, can you push the fan the other way now? But he hasn't walked in here yet. So
on a little side note, Jessica has been like plotting on how she can get her son, who's almost 20, to move out so she can have a reading room and be able to set up better for recording.
Me too. I love my son, but
does he feel that love?
I don't know. I mean, I could be like, ooh, when my daughter moves out, but our girls share a room. So that's going to be a while from now. So my best bet right now is the son.
I don't know. From what your daughters have said, it sounds like your best bet is when the youngest leaves.
you know, you know.
No
So
shade.
no shade.
This is
It's
just what
expensive.
your daughters have said.
Which they like to throw shade on their brother all the time. So, yep, But he's at work right now, so he can't defend himself. Okay, well, you talked about a DJ Krimmer book a couple of books back, and that is who the author is of my next book. There was audio that came out on Tuesday, and I saw that Blue Nose on their TikTok page, they had little excerpts of it, and I was like, "Ooh, this looks good." It is a dark cowboy, but it is done differently. It's very different. So this is Stray by DJ Krimmer, and the audio itself is amazing. This is about Ozzy and Jackson. So Ozzy has been through something extremely traumatic. She was abducted and held and used as a sex slave, and she has a ton of scars inside and out, and she has severe PTSD. But she is a nurse. She's an older heroine, and she's a nurse. And by older, I mean she's in her 30s. And she is hired to go to Jackson's family ranch and take care of his father, who is dying of cancer. And so this is end of life care, what she'll be giving the father. And the father's this crotchety old man, and she and him hit it off right away. I mean, she shows up, body covered in tattoos, two different color hair. They can tell that when she goes without a bra, her nipples are pierced. Like, she is very, very alternative. And a lot of that is to cover the scars on her body and for her to reclaim her body from what happened to her. So she's on this journey with the dad. The dad actually really likes her right away, but she has major flashbacks and severe PTSD, and that is where Jackson comes in, and he is this source of strength for her, even though she has all of her guards up and she wants nothing to do with him, and she just, she has no family, she's got nothing, but they come to love her as family. So you do see some pretty sad things because she is doing palliative care for the father. This book, it's a dark cowboy, but it's dark cowboy because of the things that happened to her prior to coming to the ranch. This really is a book of healing and how she learns to accept herself and what happened to her and to fall in love. I gave it a solid 4 stars. I loved it. It was just very different where I was like, oh, dark cowboy, like he's going to be out here, shooting anybody who looks at her. No, that was not it. It was all about her and coming to accept her and what had happened to her. So it was really good. It was very different. I liked it.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Well, speaking of dark cowboy, I listened to a Christmas book.
Wow. Okay.
Well, I was finishing up some Christmas decorating and I was like, oh, I want to listen to a Christmas book. So I found a cute one to listen to. It's an Audible original. It's called Not Another Christmas Romcom by AJ Pine. And so this is Molly. Molly is going to stay at the Christmas house. So it's this house that people can rent. It's all decorated up for Christmas. And her sister's fiance's family is extremely wealthy and they've rented this house. So it's like her sister's family and then the fiance's family are all going to be here for Christmas. So she's on a flight. She gets upgraded to first class. She's sitting next to this guy and she just, they're chatting away. And she kind of complains a little bit about her sister's fiance and that sort of thing. And like how, like, not too bad, but enough that, the story's going to get awkward. So they land, he goes off and, wherever he goes, she gets to Christmas house, knocks on the door is opened. And what do you know? There is Liam, who is the guy she was sitting next to on the plane and is also her sister's fiance's brother. So that kind of makes the whole situation slightly awkward because she doesn't really care for her sister's fiance that much. And now they're all spending all this time together. So it's a fairly quick listen. It's an auto, like I think I already said it was an Audible original. I enjoyed it. I rated it 4 stars. It is what it is, basically, like it was enjoyable.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I picked up an audiobook by Heather Ashley this week. Now, I like Heather Ashley. I like her darker taboo stuff. She does breeding really well. She does the whole daddy, like, best friend's dad or dad. The one that I like from her is it's her dad's best friend that she, gets into a relationship with. So when I saw that she had these books on audio and one of them was a firefighter, I was like, score! It was contemporary, but that's okay. We're going to talk about it. So I went into this completely blind, and it is called Unexpectedly Ever After, again by Heather Ashley. This is the first book in her The Oops Baby Club, which I was there about 20 years ago. So I was a part of that club too, but that's okay. So this is about Clover and Banks. Again, I went into this blind, so I didn't realize that this was a brother's best friend, but Clover's brother comes to her. She's a bartender, and he asks her if his best friend Banks can come stay with her for a couple of months and sleep on her couch because there's something going on with his apartment and he can't stay there. She reluctantly agrees. These guys have not gotten along ever. He's always antagonizing her, and she just has a really hard time with him. But Banks, who is our firefighter playboy, comes to stay with her. And one night there's a storm, and one thing leads to the next, and they end up sleeping together. And then, oops, she's pregnant. And her brother made Banks promise forever ago that he wouldn't touch his sister. But again, you're freaking adults, do what you want, but whatever. And so this is their story. They have to figure all that out. I gave it 4 stars. This is why I don't like Brother's Best Friend. So what if you promised something when you were 17? Get over it.
Oh, okay. So my next book is by an author I love, and she tends to write more, I would say, like deep, to some degree, contemporary romance. But we saw her at Love in Vegas, and I really wanted to get books by her. And I found a book that she had written several years ago, and it looked really different. So I decided to pre order it from her. And when we saw her, she's like, "You're Mandy?" She's like, "Oh my gosh, I have been talking about you all day because I love you because you love unhinged shit." And she's like, "I'm so excited somebody wants to read my unhinged shit."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Oh, I wonder what I got myself into here." So let me tell you all about Countdown to Killing Curtis by Lauren Rowe. So in this book, we have Buttercup. Buttercup is the product of a teenage pregnancy, and her dad and her are kind of like two peas in a pod. And this is full of like Texan, uh, it's just full of like all these comparisons. They're Texans, and so there's a lot of these like comparisons and things that are in here. And they're two peas in a pod, and they constantly like kind of belittle the mom and things like that. And she's the only one working. She's got a drinking problem, but the dad just really doesn't have much going on. But Buttercup is enthralled with her father and loves him. Well, one day he leaves to go start a better life and is supposed to send for her, which he never does. So Buttercup kind of turns to her own things that she needs to do to take care of herself, and she ends up in foster care where she meets Wesley. Again, she does some of her own things because she believes she is destined for Hollywood and that nobody is more pretty than her. And so she goes to Hollywood. This is where she meets Curtis Jackman. He owns a club and a magazine and does pornos. But that is not the type of Hollywood actress she wants to be. But she's taken by him. They end up getting married, and then she kind of realizes that things are not. There's things she needs to figure out. Basically, I'll just say that. So the whole book is the countdown to killing Curtis.
Okay.
It is unhinged. I wouldn't even say it's dark, but I suppose it is dark because there's a lot of things that happen that if you're just like a contemporary reader and you read this, you're going to be like, what? Like, it would not be good. But this is kind of where that whole subjective dark thing comes in. If you're not really a dark romance reader, the stuff that's happening in here is dark. If you are a dark romance reader, this is very like dark light, but it's written almost in a comical way, but it's not comical, if I'm making any sense at all. I loved it. I rated it 5 stars. It was delightfully unhinged in all the best ways. If you pick this up though, thinking you were getting Lauren Rowe, who wrote like Hero and Captain or Read Rivers, you're getting very different. The writing is still phenomenal, but the subject matter is extremely different. And it's pretty twisted, the stuff that Buttercup does to get what she wants.
Okay.
I loved it.
Okay, good. Glad. Because that was a different kind of Lauren Rowe. So
Very different. Very
yeah.
different.
Yeah. So you know how I keep saying that I think that Cowboy and Dark Cowboy, like this is their time to shine. And it's getting proven because another Dark Cowboy came out on audio this week and I read it.
You're gonna force it to happen, whether
I'm
it
gonna
is
push
happening
it.
or not. You are
Yeah,
making
and then
it
I'm gonna
happen.
get to a point where I'm like sick of it, and I'll just be like, "Oh, Dark Cowboy." But right now, we're living in this. This
You're
is
here
great.
for it.
We're here for it. So this is Steel and Sin by Rhea Wilde. And this one is Mafia meets Cowboy, which is very interesting. So we have Elena. She is the daughter to a mafia boss. He has just died. She is the only child. And so her dad treated her like she was a boy, and he trained her to take over the mafia one day. And so his funeral has just ended, and she is walking into this meeting as if she is the new leader of all of these men. And while a lot are loyal to her, there are some that are not happy that a woman is in charge of the mafia. And so a few days later, a coup happens, and she is then running for her life. And she's been shot, and some things have happened. And she ends up in this barn. And that is where Knox finds her. He is our grumpy cowboy. And he finds her bleeding out in the barn, and he goes to pick her up, and she immediately draws her gun and puts it to his head and is like, "What are you doing?" And so he, helps her. Come to find out, he is losing his farm. He's losing his ranch because of some things that her father had done. And so they come to an agreement that he will let her recuperate and stay on his ranch for 2 months. And then until she's ready to exact her revenge, and then she'll figure out a way to get him, like, to help him keep his ranch. But she doesn't intend to fall in love with the animals, and she doesn't intend to fall in love with him. And she's this hard, badass woman who's, really met her match. And so I gave it 4 stars. I liked it. I thought it was a different way to bring those kind of crazy elements in that Dark Cowboy in. So I do love, there's like this bull, and he like hates everybody, and they're constantly telling her to like leave the bull alone. And one day she blows up a yoga ball and goes and plays with the bull. They're all like, "Get away from the damn bull!" And she's like, "He's just so sweet." It was really cute, honestly.
That's dangerous.
It's very dangerous. It's fiction. It's fiction. So
that can be fiction, but Mittens in Alaska, not fiction.
So correct. Okay.
Okay.
Mittens happen in Alaska in the winter.
What?
I had mittens. I said I had mittens in the winter. They can't happen in Alaska in the winter. Okay.
I just have to say, Karen said she was going to put something in there about mittens, but thought that was taking it too far.
Okay.
Okay. So my next is a dark holiday with like Snowden and Stalker.
Okay.
Right up your alley.
Right up
for
my
holiday.
Alley. Yeah.
Because you don't like holiday, but I think you could do this one.
Okay.
So this is Snowbound by Jane Henry. This has a little tiny bit of like, maybe you could call it an Easter egg or a tie-in back to her Irish mafia, but it's completely a standalone. So we have Emma. Emma finds out her husband's been cheating on her. This marriage was not an arranged marriage, but it was very much a guided marriage. And so she has packed up and gone to stay in this cabin that's very isolated. She's a writer, so she's like, I have horrible writer's block. I have to meet some deadlines. So she decides that she's going to rent this cabin and stay there by herself and work on her book and just forget about everything that's happened. Well, this cabin is like really well stocked with things, like gifts keep appearing. And then Owen himself appears, who is her stepbrother. And he has been light stalking her. And now they're in this cabin together, and it's going to snow a lot. I'll leave it at that. I think everybody knows where this is going. It was delightful. I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
So if you're looking for a dark holiday romance, check out Snowbound.
Okay. Well, I did read a holiday book this week. It was a novella, and it was an arc that I got from Kay Webster for being in our K Club. We get them a little bit earlier than the arc readers, but I read it, and it is taboo. And it is the only way that I can do holiday romances. And so this is called Nice Girls Don't Kiss Their Stepbrother. Again, it's by Kay Webster. This is about Clara and Eric. So Clara is our, obsessed with everything holiday. Thank God her name's not Holly. The heroine in this book. And she has, so when her mom married Eric's dad, she was 10. And so, or he was 10. And so they've known each other for years. Like they grew up together. They really did. They were each other's best friends. But Eric went off to college and he got a job in New York. He trades the stocks and he pretty much just walked away from the family and nobody's really seen him and they haven't had much communication with him. And that is his choice. He just got so into his life that he just didn't pay much attention to what was going on at home. But now he shows up on her doorstep all disheveled and he's made a huge mistake and he needs a place to live. And, there were feelings, there always was. And here we go. I'm going to leave it at that because, again, it's like 160 pages. It's a novella. I gave it 4 stars. Again, it's the only way I can do Christmas books.
Okay.
Yeah, add in that taboo. Yep. And I'm out. It's your turn. It's all you, girl.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So I got the ALC for Adriana Locke's newest series. It's not the newest release though, but the audiobook was delayed. And so that just came out. The audiobook just came out, which is Play Me. And this is about Astrid and Gray. Gray is on a rugby team, so we have rugby. And he gets himself into a lot of trouble and he's new to this team. And so Astrid is friends with I think he's the owner or the manager, somebody who has a lot of say in this situation. And she is given the job of basically being Gray's assistant, but doing so and making sure he stays out of trouble and doesn't do anything he shouldn't be. Gray is not happy about this, and Astrid is rather overbearing for him, kind of on purpose, because he's been kind of a jerk to her because he's not happy about it. Well, at some point, Astrid is just like, this is not working, and she quits. And so then Gray loses his bonus, and it becomes this whole thing. So he's kind of forced to grovel and get her to agree to be his assistant again. So we have like a definite enemies to lovers vibe happening here between the two of them. And then it is narrated by Sebastian York. My timer went off.
Okay,
And
I'm
Molly
sorry.
Stark. And they do a great job. But I really liked how Sebastian York kind of captured Gray's like arrogant vibes, but yet also brought about like his more broken and vulnerable side as well. Like I really felt like his narration really made Gray's character a lot more likable as we see this change in him. Okay.
All right.
Okay, so then I'm working on the Corinne Michaels backlist book club. So I got to Stay For Me with the Arrowwood brothers.
Oh, I love that one.
I was going to say, this is the last one in the series. So you read the whole series, right?
Yeah.
Like years ago.
Years ago, yeah.
Years ago.
Like in 2020 probably, or 2021, yeah. Years ago.
Okay, so this is about Jacob. Jacob's an actor. He's also an Arrowwood brother. So he's the last Arrowwood brother to come home for that 6-month stay in Sugarloaf. Brenna's husband died about a year ago. She has moved back, or not moved back. She has moved to Sugarloaf with her 2 kids because her deceased husband's family lives there. And so she went there to try and give her kids like a little bit more of a family now that their dad was passed away. Jacob comes to town. Brenna's friends with like some of the other, like that family. And so Jacob meets her through that. And her son is really like #1 fan, really likes him. and gets him basically to agree to direct the school play. And he gets pretty into it. Brenna agrees, like, because she works for the school and he's not a school employee, somebody on staff needs to also be there. So she agrees to help with that, which puts the two of them together. So this is kind of a, like, just a really, it's a little bit of a slow burn, but just more of a really like sweet romance. And I think sometimes people call it second chance. I wouldn't necessarily label it second chance because the two characters were never together before, but I see the second chance, and like she was already married and then her husband passes away. So this is kind of like her second chance at love. So rated at 4 stars. I enjoyed it.
I think that's the one where we meet Jessica, who is the flight attendant who gets in the plane wreck in her book, which is in another series. It's a spinoff. But that was, I remember reading that going, oh, I need her book now. So
yes, when I read that, I was like, I know this book. I know this book. What book is that from? And so I had to go look for a hot minute because it threw me for a second. And I was like, oh yeah, that's the other series I haven't finished. I read, like, I think what happened is when I first started reading, you threw out like, read this, now read this. Oh, you haven't read this yet. And so that's why I jumped all over series, because you were like, read this one. And then I'm like, I've read this book from her series here, and then like book 3 over here and book 2 over here. But I never finished anything because I was just always like bam, 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 just jumping around. So I'm trying really hard.
Okay.
I also, Laura Pavlov's another one where I'm trying to go back. Yeah. And I'll talk about that later.
Yeah. That'll be a whole different video too that we're talking about doing.
Oh yeah, series to finish.
That we need to finish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so next up, I have an author that we are hopefully going to have an interview out really soon with this author, and that is Stacey Travis. You've read part of the
what's her name?
Stacey Travis.
It almost sounded like you said Stracy. I was like, what?
Oh, I might have, because sometimes I combine words as I'm trying to say.
It's okay. I just want to make sure it was clear for everybody at home.
My students love to hear me.
I do that though. I trip over. I do that where I combine letters, and especially when I get nervous, I sound like a bubbling moron. It's typically around my in-laws. Let's just put it.
I don't think it's because I'm nervous. I'm just thinking too far ahead in my.
I do it when I'm meeting new people and I want them to like me. I like that. I can't spit my words out. I'm sure you've seen it. It happens.
Never. I already love you, so you don't have to impress me. I don't. Speech impedimenting it away, and then you yell at me and tell me I don't. I just want to make sure impediment.
It was clear for everybody at home since we're going to interview. It's okay. It happens. I do it too.
Okay, I apologize if I messed that up, but I feel like I said Stacey Travis, but that's because that's what I was trying to say.
Okay.
So anyway, you have read part of the Buttercup Hill series.
Yeah.
I've read that series, and so she's got a brand new series coming out. It's called the LA Devils. This just released. So this one is, the first book is Playing the Field, and this is soccer, which I feel like, is soccer kind of like becoming the new sports thing?
Maybe.
Feels like it a little bit. So in this, we have Gracie. Gracie is super smart and worked at this job up in Silicon Valley. And there was a little bit of a scandal, and her boyfriend kind of manipulated her and took advantage of her, and their relationship broke off, and she ended up needing to quit her job. So she's living with her brother in LA while she's trying out this new job with the LA Devils. She doesn't want to like relocate yet until she knows that this is going to work out for her. Smart move, especially in today's housing market. So she's staying with her brother, and she's working as this data analyst. Well, Hunter and her brother have been best friends like since they were younger. So they've known each other for a very long time. And his house, unfortunately, burns down at the same time. So he is now staying there while things get figured out with his insurance and all of that stuff. But he's also kind of had a little bit of a crush on Gracie, but always felt like Gracie was too smart for him. And Gracie's kind of had a crush on him, but always felt like he was too much of a jock to ever want to be interested in someone like her. Well, at her job, they are talking about trading Hunter because he's very quick to get into fights on the field and just cause problems. And they're trying to figure out statistically what makes sense. And she does the data and shows that he's actually like their most valuable player and that they shouldn't trade him. So she kind of saves his job based on the data. And she works for the team, and he's a player for the team, and they're living together. So that brings up a lot of problems when you're wanting to start a new relationship, especially with the work drama she had at her last job. So I rated this 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. And I'm looking forward to our interview with Stacey Travis. And I hope you guys will check that out when it should be out on Wednesday. But I'm always afraid of saying that because things sometimes happen and it doesn't work out. So hopefully it's out on Wednesday. If you don't see it Wednesday, it will be coming soon, hopefully. So next, I had thought about reading The Patriot in Jennifer Milliken's series, the Hayden family series. And then you read it and I was like, I'm going to read a different book from that series.
Okay,
I decided to pick a different one, and I really wanted to read The Outlaw.
Okay.
So I read
That's
The
what
Outlaw.
You did. Okay.
Okay. So in this, we have Wyatt. Wyatt is one of the Hayden brothers, and he's kind of the outcast. Like, his dad is kind of an ass to him, and him and his dad just really don't get along. And Wyatt does things that look like they're really bad choices, which some of them are, but he has reasons that he chooses not to share, and he just doesn't care if people think badly of him. And so Wyatt gets himself into another situation, which results in him having to do community service. Jo has recently purchased a ranch, and she is trying to turn it into a place for teens to be able to come and stay and do not community service, but kind of work on the ranch and like an outreach for troubled teens or troubled youth. And so he ends up having to do his community service on her ranch. And the two of them actually know each other. And there was a situation that Wyatt is not really remembering and Jo is pissed about. We'll just leave it at that. I enjoyed it. I rated it 4 stars. There was a lot of depth and other things going on in this story, but that would be spoilers to bring that up.
Okay.
Okay. It's Cowboy. I don't think I said that. The whole series, though, is Cowboy.
They're all Cowboy, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, next, I read a novella for the Hot and Bothered Book Club. This is Mistletoe and Molly by Matilda Martell. Travis and Molly were high school sweethearts. They broke up, and it's 12 years later. Travis is going home for the first time. He's avoided his home for years because he doesn't want to run into Molly. And what do you know? He gets to the airport, and who does he run into? Molly. And Molly has also avoided Travis during all of this time. I struggled with this. And then they're going to get back together pretty quick because it's a novella and we see all of this kind of unfold. I struggled with this one. I rated it 3 stars. It just really didn't make sense to me about why they pined for each other for 12 years and avoided running into each other while still pining for each other. So, there.
Yeah, I did it because I figured,
and I don't know. It kind of fell a little flat for me, even though it was a novella. So 3 stars.
Okay.
Go give it a try. And also, the reason they broke up, like, why would you want to get back together with him? But whatever.
Okay.
Okay, we don't have to switch for this one because I also read Bad Bishop by L.J. Shen, which is part of our book club, or not part of, it is our book club book this week, which is November 21st at 6 p.m. Pacific time on our channel. We would love to have you guys join us for the live show. It shall be interesting if we have a lot to talk about or not. Like,
I don't know. Yeah, but I'm excited to talk about it.
I'm excited to talk about it too. I tried to take some notes.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
I didn't say they were extensive. So we would love to have you guys join us. There will be spoilers. So if you have the opportunity to read or listen to it before Friday, do that. You can always join us though. And even if you haven't read it, we would love to have you.
We try to keep the spoilers somewhat vague, but yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, we are there to discuss the book. So
yeah, exactly.
Okay. Then speaking of Laura Pavlov, on my 10 till the end, which turned out to be 15 till the end, which whose dumb idea was it to add
I don't know, because I don't know that I'm going to hit all of them, but okay. I'm trying.
I am trying, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think it's going to either. Because I think about the books too, and I'm like, well, there's a reason why they're still on my bookshelf. Like, I just don't have the desire to read them right now. So
I don't know so much if it's that for me. It's just that I have a lot of stuff I'm reading and
well, and
want
a
to read,
lot
and
of what I chose are books that don't have audio. And right now, with how crazy things are, I have to have audio. I can only get in like 1 or 2 physical books a week at most at this point. So they need audio.
yeah. So
Okay.
I am currently reading. I'm in the middle, like, or not in the middle, but I've been reading the Rosewood River series by Laura
Mm-hmm.
Pavlo. And she has already started teasing the next series, which is going to be Second Generation. And I've been loving the Rosewood River series. So I definitely wanted to get caught up on some of the other books. So I would be ready for the new one when I think the first book in that series comes out in the spring. So I had to figure out what I've read and what I still need to read. So for those of you who are wanting to know, there's the Honey Mountain series, and then from there we go to the Cottonwood Cove series, and from there to Magnolia Falls, and then to Rosewood River. So I've read a little in the Magnolia Falls, but I have not, and I've read all of Honey Mountain, which I really enjoyed, and I've not read anything in Cottonwood Cove. So that is where I have gone to, and that is the first book in that is Into the Tide, which has been sitting on my shelf for a while, hence
Quite a while. Yeah.
the 10 before the end video that we did. So this is about Lila. Lila is home for the summer. Lila and Travis are brother and sister, and their mom died when they were younger, and their dad did not handle it well. And he has become an addict. There was an accident which led to him like unfortunate things that have happened. But the fact is, he's an addict and his life is not really together. And Travis has basically written their father off, and Lila is really still trying to help her dad. And Travis is like really against Lila getting stuck in this small town and trying to take care of their dad for the rest of her life. And so anytime anybody will listen, he is like, she's only home for the summer. She's going back to Chicago. She has big dreams. Like, she's not staying here, to the point where it's almost borderline obnoxious. But when you kind of understand where Travis is coming from, it makes a little more sense. Well, Hugh and Travis are best friends. Hugh kind of has a crush a little bit on Lila. Lila definitely has a crush on Hugh. Lila is a virgin and she wants to get rid of that V card, and she wants Hugh to do it. She's working for Hugh, and there's where things are going to go from there. I like that Travis's overprotective behavior is explained in this. Like, that can be rather annoying when there's really no reason for it, where you kind of just want to be like, I've read some books where I felt like the brother, it was like toxic behavior or even maybe borderline abusive behavior with the way that they behaved. But in here, it's understandable. He doesn't want his sister getting trapped in this cycle with their addict father. So,
Mm-hmm.
okay, then I have one last one,
Okay.
which is another dark holiday romance.
Okay. Tell us
Okay,
all about it.
this is Mistletoe Masquerade by Jill Ramsauer. This is part of the Morarty Men series. So it is 2.5 is what she has it listed as, since it's a novella. This comes out on November 19th. So this is about Sachi. She's a caterer. She does like these fancy sculptures. She's doing the big police ball, and she decides, she's kind of talked into it by her friends, to put on a beautiful evening gown and just go to the ball. And so she does this. And at the ball is Dean, who is a detective, and she knows who he is. He does not know who she is, nor would he really know who she is. He rescues her from some guys hassling her. And from there, they spend some time dancing and they go home together, have a wonderful night. Both feel major connections, but she feels guilty because her best friends uh, are the Morarty men, who are in the mafia. And so she's like, I can't be hooking up with a police detective when these are my friends. Like, Danny is my best friend. Sante, I can't remember if he's her husband or her boyfriend, is like the head of the mafia. And Dean, actually kind of works like with them a little bit for intel, like that kind of a relationship. So she sneaks out in early in the morning before Dean's awake and goes home. And then she's over at the Morarty men's home and there's a knock on the door. She answers it and it's Dean. And Dean is not pleased to see her there
Okay.
because he thinks that she was a plant.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it. I rated it 5 stars. So there are the 14 books from this week.
Okay. All right, guys. This was a longer one, but hopefully you enjoyed it. But let's wrap her up.
Yes. So if you got nothing from this, like definitely go grab Karen's book.
And Kay Webster's book, too.
Yes. Lots
For
of great
holidays.
book recs this week.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Make sure you check back on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and sometimes Wednesdays for new
Yeah.
videos
sorry.
from us.
I was uncomfortable. I had to adjust. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video.